Right. So happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to Get Up and Go Flow. Um, this month we are working on the second chakra, which is Svadhisthayana, whatever. I can never pronounce this one. My Sanskrit is woeful, so I'm not even going to try and say it. But the second chakra is located approximately just below the navel and wraps around to the sacrum. So most of us are pretty aware of the sacrum because in yoga we talk a lot about it. Anytime you do like supported bridge, you're always suggested to bring that block on behind your sacrum. So you're probably fairly familiar with the sacrum. Uh, some of the things about this chakra, excuse me, the color of this chakra is orange, which I think is kind of interesting because the first chakra is a reddish, brownish, earthy color. The third chakra is yellow, like a bright, fiery yellow. So it's almost like the two together made orange, right? So we want to remember that while we are working up the chakra system, we also work down the chakra system. So there's definitely a flow up and down. The chakra is represented by water, the element of water. So I've been encouraging people to start practice by thinking of themselves in some body of water. Now, that body of water could be your bathtub. That body of water could be a swimming pool. That body of water could be a stream, a lake, an ocean, a sea, anything that resonates for you in terms of a body of water. And I recognize also that for some of us, we don't feel comfortable around water. Or, I mean, obviously we bathe and stuff like that, but it's not like it's a draw for us. Some of us are just not into like sitting by the pool and enjoying the pool, right? Some of us just not into that. And so notice if that's an element that you don't find pleasurable. Notice that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong about that. But see if you can sort of make some small movements here as if you were in some body of water that you do like. So if it's a bathtub, you might gently sort of slide, bring your hands back and forth, moving the water around. If you're in a swimming pool, you might be, just gently floating in the swimming pool, or you might even be on one of those floaty things and just enjoying that slight movement, right? This is a slow moving chakra, just like the first chakra. So we're not going to be going down Niagara Falls. We're not going to be at a water park. We're going to be enjoying this slow movement of water, any body of water. Another thing about this chakra is that the two things. The physical sense is taste. So tasting things is one of the attributes of this chakra. Another thing too is that this chakra is all about feeling, but not so much like emotional feeling, but more about physical, sensual feeling, and sensual not necessarily sexual, but just the senses of feeling, right? So these are things also to consider. The lotus flower is a 6-petaled lotus in this. And I do want to say that inside that lotus are two symbols that represent male and female. Some people might think of it as yin and yang, but I want to make sure that we open up the space for the fact that it does not have to be male and female. It could be complementary senses, right? So it could be the fact that, for example, my best friend, this is so true. We've been best friends for almost 35 years, right? If I buy her a gift, I think of the exact opposite of what I want. And then I get her that gift because we're just opposites. But in that oppositeness, we complement each other, right? So instead of thinking of it necessarily as being a male or female thing, think of things in your life that, you bring a certain thing. Maybe you're a very rational thinker and you work with somebody who's a very creative thinker, for example, and you complement each other, that kind of stuff. So the sound of this chakra is bum, V-A-M, bum. So let's start getting into this now. I will be talking a little bit about pelvic floor in this class today. The pelvic floor located just below the navel. Because we are all women on this Zoom call, I'm going to say just a little bit about pelvic floor health here. Most of us are walking around with our pelvic floor in spasm, right? We are movers and shakers, and even though we're in pandemic, maybe even more so because we're in this pandemic, we are in this constant sort of space of stress. Now, we might not even notice that or identify that because we're just so used to being kind of cranked up like that, that we don't even know what it's like to be relaxed. So today I hope that we'll get a chance to think of that. I'm going to be extremely graphic right now. The sensation of being relaxed in the pelvic floor is very similar to going to the doctor, having to give a urine sample. You put some urine in the cup, you put the cup down, you return to the toilet bowl to finish eliminating, right? So that sensation of letting go, that last little bit, is very similar to the sensation of your pelvic floor being relaxed. So I hope that we'll be able to explore the sensation of contraction and release in that second chakra today. So allow your eyes to close. Place your hands either facing up or facing down, right? So to me, this chakra is a lot to do with self-care. So think about what it's like for you, what self-care looks like for you. I think for a lot of us on this call today, part of the self-care is taking this class, knowing that Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we have this class, which is part of the routine. Make any small movements. You might like to continue that sort of movement as if you were in some kind of body of water, whether it's your bathtub or the sea or the ocean, whatever, right? You might like to imagine the space below the navel surrounded by this orange mist. You might like to visualize this six-petaled lotus. Might think about how you're physically feeling today, any parts that are calling your attention. You might like to think about what flavors you're anticipating tasting today, making anything special to eat today. And then as you get into a place where you feel pretty centered, I'm going to chant the sound of Vam a couple of times for you. You're on mute, so if you would like to chant and see if you notice any sensation of vibration around that middle, that second chakra, you might. I don't know if that vibration is going to come through on Zoom, so please feel free maybe to chant it in your mind or out loud. Taking a breath in. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Take a moment to let that resonate. And while you do so, create an intention for your practice today. Maybe it has something to do with all the stuff that I just said. Maybe set that intention for the rest of the day, perhaps for the rest of the week, maybe even for the rest of this month that we are exploring this second chakra. And we'll begin with the sound of Om, chanting once. Find your way into your table position, so hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If you have a blanket, you'd like to place that underneath your knees, please do. And please have your blocks ready in case you'd like to use them. If you don't have blocks, that's totally fine. We're going to start not in cow and cat, but we'll start instead with a rocking movement from side to side. And as you rock from side to side, just notice how that feels. Do you feel any tension in your lower body? Do you feel any relaxation in the lower body? Just notice the sensation. Remember, this chakra is all about feeling, not so much your emotional feeling, although that can always be part of it, but more the physical sensations in your body. Different things that are popping up for you. You feel any strain in your wrist as you're holding here, you can absolutely come down onto your forearms instead and just rock. Then start to rock and squeeze your hip towards your shoulder and then come back to center and then rock to the other side and squeeze the hip towards the shoulder. So you're kind of going to be scrunching from side to side here, kind of hiking the hip up towards your shoulder. Now, right there, we've got some muscle contraction happening, right? Notice that there's a little squeeze and then we come back. Squeeze to the other side, come back, all right? And then please feel free to relax and just do a simple rocking movement again. Then if you'd like to, we're going to come back over to the right side and this time scrunch and look over the right shoulder to the right side of the body. And then come back into the center and take it to the other side and squeeze. Good. And then we'll come back into the center. And if you have a yoga block, grab your yoga block and bring it between your thighs. Gently but firmly squeeze that yoga block. Squeeze and then relax. Squeeze and relax. And as you do that, close your eyes and notice, yes, your thighs are squeezing that yoga block and then the thighs relax and release. But there are other muscles that are also moving here. So see if you can identify anything. You may be feeling a little bit towards the base of your seat, and you may be feeling a little bit underneath your navel, right? Good. Now walk your hands further forward and inhale and bring your chest forward. Squeeze that yoga block as you let your hips draw downward. Now watch your shoulders. Make sure they're not creeping up towards the ears. So push the floor away as you let the hips draw downward. Maybe you look up a bit. And then exhale. We're going to come into what I would call a baby down dog. So we're going to be on our knees, but we're not coming into child's pose. We're going to bring the ears alongside the upper arms as we let the chest draw downward. Make any adjustments to your yoga block. And if you don't need to use the yoga block, you can remove it. We inhale and come forward gently but firmly, squeezing that yoga block as we reach the hips down towards the floor. So we're doing a pretty big arching movement in the spine. We want to avoid feeling any strain in the lower back. And then once again, we take it back into that baby down dog, ears alongside the upper arms. And then one more time, inhale, coming forward, gently squeeze that block so you feel that lower abdominals contracting, shoulders are relaxed, but arms are straight. And exhale into that baby down dog, bringing the ears alongside the arms. Now, tuck your toes under, walk your hands back towards you, move the block back out of the way, and step into down dog all the way. Before we do anything else in down dog, take a moment to come forward into plank and make any adjustments. So your hands are going to be underneath the shoulders and your legs are going to be long. And then we press back into downward facing dog. Close your eyes for a moment and think about a gentle wave that's coming from the ocean or the sea. And inhale and round up from your upper mid spine to come forward into plank. And then exhale, lift up from that same place as you roll back into down dog. Inhale again, rounding upward as you come forward into a plank, and you'll straighten out in your plank. And then exhale, lifting up from the upper mid back as you come back into down dog. And then one more time, lifting up, rounding up, and exhale, rounding up to go back to down dog. Then inhale and round forward into plank. And as you exhale, bring your knees to the floor. Now the next thing we're going to do is very awkward. It's called knees, chest, chin. So we have our knees already on the floor. We want to bring the chest between the hands, which means that when we bring the chest between the hands, our butt is going to be sticking up. And then we slide forward into a little cobra with the shoulders down and exhale into a child's pose. Let's hold child's pose for 3 breaths as we take some pressure off of the hands and wrists. So you can keep your hands way out in front of you. You could slide them underneath your forehead. You could slide them alongside your body. As you're ready, find your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale again, rounding forward in a wave. And exhale, knees. Bring your chest between your hands, chest. Seat is up, chin to the floor. Inhale, slide forward, lift up into a small or medium cobra. Elbows are by your side. And exhale again, child's pose just for 2 breaths this time. And back to downward facing dog. Inhale, round that wave forward into your plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Perhaps it's beginning to get a little less awkward. Inhale, slide forward, lifting up, small or medium cobra. And exhale, child's pose. 1 big breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Remember, this is also a slow moving chakra, a tamasic chakra. Grab hold of your opposite elbows, bend your knees if needed, lift your seat up, release the top of your head towards the floor, and let the weight of your arms pull your chest closer to your thighs. Take 1 more breath. As you exhale, release your hands down, and we pull up from the lower 2 chakras as we lift up. Rounding up, letting the head and shoulders be the last thing to arrive. Inhale to lift arms out and up. And exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to step the left foot back. If you have a block, left hand comes onto a block. Inhale to lift the right arm out and up and hold. Try to stack your right arm on top of the left. Bend your left elbow just slightly so you create more space between the ear and shoulder. Take another breath. Exhale, bring your right hand down if you have 2 blocks. Grab hold of both of those blocks, maybe even on the higher height, and begin to straighten through the right leg. Dig the left heel downward towards the floor. Round through that spine, just like that big wave, and exhale, pull the navel to the spine as you draw your nose closer to your right knee. Shake the head gently, nod the head gently. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, rebend your right knee, move your blocks to the side, and plant your palms to the floor as you step back into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward, cobra, small, medium. You can even do a high cobra as long as you're squeezing in and up. And exhale, quick child's pose because it feels good. And then downward facing dog. Pedal your feet towards the front of the mat. Take your time, no rush. When you get to the front of the mat, slide your hands up your legs just above the knees. Press your hands into the thighs and lengthen your spine. Reach your seat a little bit back and draw in. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale to step your right foot back, and if you have a block, grab that block. Inhale, lift the left arm out and up and try to stack that left arm over the right. Notice what's happening in your left knee. So see if you can gently squeeze the thighs a bit towards each other, firing up from those two lower positions. Take another breath. Exhale, bring the left hand down if you have two blocks, both hands on blocks, as you begin to straighten through that left leg. Round and breathe into the roundness of your upper spine, and as you exhale, draw the nose closer to that left knee as you bring your right heel closer to the floor. Breath in, breath out. Shake the head gently, nod the head gently. Inhale, rebend that left knee. Move your blocks to the side and step back into plank. One big breath here, and as you exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward into your cobra, and exhale, child's pose, and then downward facing dog. Walk your feet slowly towards the front of the mat. Take your time. Inhale, lift your arms alongside your torso as your hands reach back, and then exhale and release. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up, and exhale, bring your arms back by your side. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, right foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Now here, from the rest of the class on, you have your choice to hold plank lower down the usual way, or keep working on your knees, chest, chin. Inhale, either hold plank or lift up into cobra, up dog, or supported plank. Exhale, child's pose, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back, and exhale, bring the right foot outside the right hand. Inhale, lift your hips up a little higher, and as you exhale, step your left foot outside your left hand. If you have two blocks, grab your two blocks and bring them on the two highest heights, right next to each other, and slide them behind your legs and come to sit in a wide straddle squat. Take your hands and gently press out. Keep your feet as wide as you need them to be, and sit up as tall as you can. Then from here, using your hands, I want you to inhale, lift your arms up, relax through the pelvic floor. So feel that sensation of just releasing. Exhale, I want you to squeeze in and up. Inhale, release and open the arms out and up. Exhale, bring the hands in and squeeze in and up. And then one more time, inhale to lift and relax. And maybe that's resonating, maybe it's not, that's okay. Exhale, squeeze in and up. Bring the hands down to the floor, lift the hips up. Heel toe your feet closer together and move your blocks to the side. Inhale to that flat back. Exhale and release. Inhale, sweep arms all the way out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Either hold plank lower down your way, or once again, work on your knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward into your up dog, cobra, or supported plank. Back into child's pose. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up and back. Exhale, bring the left foot outside the left hand. Grab your blocks. We're going to inhale, lift that right foot outside the right hand, and see if maybe this time you'd like to try bringing your blocks to the medium height. If it felt really easy to be in the high height, you can try bringing them down a little lower. Our breathing is going to be different this time. So as you inhale, I want you to feel like you're zipping up through the midline as you lift the arms up, and then exhale, release and just let it go. Inhale, pull up, zip up. Exhale, release it, let the whole energy go into the ground. And then inhale again, zipping up, pull up from the lower two chakras, and then exhale, just let it go. Bring your hands back to the floor, lift the seat up, heel toe your feet a little closer together. Inhale to that flat back, exhale and release. Inhale, sweep arms all the way out and up. And as you exhale, bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Take your yoga block once again and place that between the thighs. And if you don't have a yoga block, a pillow, I had a student yesterday that used a roll of paper towels. Anything will do. We're just going to play around a little bit with the breath before we move on into standing poses. So as you squeeze that yoga block, I want you to breathe in and then exhale and unsqueeze. Let the legs be relaxed. Inhale again, squeeze the yoga block. Notice muscle activity. Exhale, release. And feel free to exhale through a wide open mouth here. One more time. Inhale, lift up, squeeze in with the breath in. And then exhale, everything releases. Shake that out. Take a moment to sway like you're in the middle of a bath or a swimming pool, the ocean, whatever it is that feels nice to you. And then we do the opposite. So inhale, relax, don't squeeze your yoga block. Exhale, squeeze that yoga block and feel the sensations that's coming up for you, physical sensations. Inhale again, relax, maybe lift those arms up. Exhale, squeeze the yoga block in and up. And then one more time, inhale, relax, loosey-goosey. Exhale, zip up. Remove the yoga block off to the side. Coming back to stand at the top of your mat. Inhale to lift arms up. As you exhale, bring hands into the center of the chest. Pour your weight into your right leg. Inhale, lift up that left knee. Feel as if the navel is pulling the knee up. As you exhale, shoot the left toes back as you come into a lunge position. Now, as you're here, imagine that you're still squeezing that yoga block and notice how that gives you a little sensation of pull upwards as you inhale and lift arms out and up. Exhale, open to warrior two and still zipping up from the midline here. Inhale and reach back for peaceful warrior. And then exhale, hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale to plank. Exhale, either hold plank lower down or practice that knees, chest, chin. Inhale, hold plank or lift up into whatever up position feels nice for you. And then exhale for downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bend the right knee. Then inhale, stack your right hip over the left as you open the knee up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that right foot outside the right hand. No blocks this time. Inhale to your fingertips and exhale, step that left foot outside the left hand. You know your own body, so open out your feet as wide as you need to and see if you can lower your hips from here and bring your hands back into the center of your chest as you hold whatever height of squat you're in. So it could be here, could be here, could be here, could be here, right? Could be here. Hold that. Notice the sensation of working hard to be in this pose, but also can you find a sensation of opening and letting energy disperse around you. Bring hands down to frame into the center. Heel toe your feet closer together. Inhale and lift up to your flat back. Exhale and release. Inhale, sweep arms all the way out and lift up. And exhale, hands come back into prayer at heart center. Start to pour your weight into your left leg. And once again, identify just below the navel. As you inhale and lift that right knee up, feel as though there were a string pulling that in. As you exhale, take your right foot back. Before we lift up, get a sense of squeezing that yoga block between the thighs. Feel that pulling up and inhale, lift arms out and up. Exhale and open to warrior two. Inhale, reach back for peaceful warrior. Exhale, hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale to plank. As you exhale, hold plank, lower down your weight or continue to work on your knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward, either hold plank or lift up into your cobra or up dog. Remember to work on squeezing through that midline and then press back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the left leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, open that left knee out and up and hold, breathe. Try to parallel the weight in your hands. Try to sink your right heel a little lower. And then exhale, bring that left foot outside that left hand. Inhale to your fingertips. And exhale, step that right foot outside the right hand. Once again, you know your own body, so see how wide you want to bring your feet. Start to sink your hips down as low as possible. And of course, you can use your blocks if you're really feeling like you want that sensation without having to work so hard. That's totally fine. Hands come into prayer at heart center as you lift that chest. Hold here, sink down as low as possible. Notice the effort. Notice the physical energy that this takes in the legs, in the hips, in the first and second chakra. That's my knee. Bring the hands down to the floor. Heel toe your feet closer together. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale and release. Inhale, sweep arms all the way out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale to lift arms out and up. Exhale, bring hands back into the center of the chest. Once again, pour your weight into your right leg and feel just below your navel, pulling your left knee up. Zipping up, take a breath in. As you exhale, shoot those left toes back. And get that sense of squeezing that yoga block. Notice how that suddenly makes you stand up a little taller. Inhale, lift arms out and up. Stay here as you exhale. Open out the arms into a bit of a V if you notice that your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears. Exhale into warrior two. Now, remember how we worked on inhaling to zip up and exhaling to release? Let's do that now 3 times. We're going to inhale and squeeze up from just underneath the navel and exhale, relax as you come back to warrior two. Inhale again, zip up. Use the inhale to fire this up and exhale back to warrior two. And then one more time, inhale, zipping up from just below the navel, squeezing the glutes together as well, and exhale to warrior two. Inhale, reach back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale to plank. Exhale, holding plank, lowering down or practicing your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide forward or hold your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time, inhale and lift the right leg up. Keep the right leg straight. In fact, flex your right foot and stack your right hip over your left hip as you reach your right heel towards the left side. See if you can continue to keep pretty even weight in both hands. Notice what's happening in the rest of the body. Exhale, bring that right foot outside the right hand. Inhale to your fingertips. And exhale, step that left foot outside the left hand. Start to sink your hips downward, and please feel free to use your blocks, sinking the hips downward as low as feels possible for you, and then letting the chest lift. Then we'll inhale, zip up, exhale, release. Inhale, zip up, exhale, relax. And then one more time, inhale, zip up, and exhale, relax. Bring those hands to the floor, lift the hips up. Heel toe feet closer together. Inhale to that flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. And exhale, hands back into prayer. Pouring the weight into the left leg. And then once again, finding that lower space just below the navel. Inhale to lift that right knee up. Zipping up here, lengthening, begin to get that sense of squeezing the yoga block between the thighs, and exhale, shoot those right toes back. Use that same sensation to help stabilize you here. And notice that as you zip up, you naturally lengthen spine as you inhale and lift up. If you need a little more space for your shoulders, open up out into a V shape. Exhale, open to warrior two. Now, this time, as we inhale, I want you to relax as you lift the arms and straighten the legs. And as you exhale, squeeze up and in as you come back to warrior two. So the inhale is going to relax the body, and the exhale is going to come back into warrior two as you squeeze in and up. And then one more time, relaxing, let the whole body just kind of sink downward. And then exhale, zip up. Inhale, reach back into your peaceful warrior. Exhale, bring hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale to plank. As always, either holding plank, lowering down, or knees, chest, chin, because that's what we're playing with this month. And then slide forward into your up dog cobra supported plank. Press back, downward facing dog. Last time to work on this big hip joint work here. We're going to inhale and lift the left leg up and back. Flex that left foot. Stack your left hip over the right as you keep that left leg very straight. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale. As you exhale, bring that left foot once again outside that left hand. Inhale to lift up to your fingertips, and exhale, step that right foot outside the right hand. Use your blocks if you'd like to. You're going to come back into your squat. Feet as wide as you need them to be. Heels still on the floor. Hands in prayer or arms out to the side. This time, we're going to inhale and zip up. No, we're going to inhale and relax, and exhale, zip up. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze up. Much harder in this position because everything needs so much effort here. Inhale, try to relax. Exhale, zip up. Hands to the floor. Lift the hips up. Ooh, heel toe feet closer together. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Really nice, everyone. Inhale to lift arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, step the right foot back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. As you exhale, bring your right foot outside the right hand. Please feel free to help it get there. Here, you're in a high lizard. So holding your high lizard, pushing the floor away with your hands lengthening at the neck, can bend your right elbow just a bit to enhance the sensation in the right hip. Your hips should be pretty mobile right now. So if you'd like to, you could also grab your 2 yoga blocks and bring your forearms to those yoga blocks as you hug your right knee in towards your right upper arm. And those yoga blocks could be at any height. So if you're looking for just a little bit more mobility in those hips, see if you'd like to try that. Shake the head gently. Hold and breathe. Open your mouth. Move the jaw around. Notice the physical sensations that you are experiencing right now. Beautiful. From here, we're going to walk ourselves into pigeon. So some of you have a lying down pigeon that you prefer, so please feel free to get into that. We're going to get into what we call a back bending pigeon. I like to call it a spinal extension pigeon. So I'm going to walk my right foot over to the left side. I'm going to bring the right knee behind my right wrist and let my left knee come down. And from here, I'm going to work on pulling in and up from that navel. Now I can use my blocks or just bring my hands to the floor. I'm going to zip up from that lower chakra, from just below the navel, so that that sacrum is protected. And I have my hands on the blocks as I get into a little spinal extension. And think about extending from the collarbone here, lifting up. If you'd like to, you can also explore some arm variations here. Cactus arms, maybe hands behind your back, anything that's interesting to you. When you're ready to do your forward fold, you might like to slide one of your yoga blocks just behind you and then come to fold forward here. Okay, it's a little different pigeon than what I normally teach. So if you prefer to be in the variation that I normally teach, please feel free to slide yourself into that. If you're feeling any distress in the knee, you can always come into a lying down variation of this pose, right? You'd be here, you cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and you either hold this or you hold your left thigh up, maybe extend that left leg. So that's an option should you choose to accept. Wherever it is that you are, take this moment now to check in. How's your breathing? How are you feeling? Open your mouth, move the jaw around. Good. Take another 2 breaths here. If you're in a lying down position, start to find your way back to down dog. If you're in this elongated pigeon, then go ahead and step back into down dog and take a moment to stretch out from that, pedal your feet, maybe cross your knees in towards the midline, maybe reach the seat back, shake the head gently. Good, and then we'll prepare to do the other side. So if you're doing a lying down variation, well, we're actually going to come to lizard first. So lift the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, bring that left foot outside the left hand. Hands are underneath your shoulders. You're pushing the floor away with those hands protracting through the shoulders. Let the hips draw downward, and then either just bend your left elbow, or once again, you can grab your yoga blocks in any height and use that to rest your forearms, right? As you hug that left knee in. Once again, after all of those squats, you're probably feeling fairly mobile in the hip. But notice that one side to the other side might feel different. Pay attention to feelings, the sensation in your physical body, particularly below the navel. And does that feel very contracted? Does it feel relaxed? Are you not sure? That's also an option, right? Good. Shake the head gently. Feel free to move the jaw around. Great. If you're coming into the lying down pigeon, go ahead and find your way into that space now. Otherwise, we're going to walk the left foot over to the right side. You bring your left knee behind your left wrist as you let your right knee come down to the floor. Starting here, but then beginning to set up for that spinal extension. So we're going to zip up from underneath the navel. Notice how right away that gives you a little more length here. Sacrum is protected, lower back is protected as we stay contracted through here. Your hands could be on the floor, hands could be on yoga blocks, just to enjoy this spinal extension here, lifting up from the collarbone, leaning back if you want to. You can add arm variations if you did so on the other side. No requirement, just an option. Notice the work, right? So you're working tons here from that lower abdominal area that in yoga we often call Mula Bandha into Uddiyana Bandha, right? When you feel like you've completed your spinal extension, find your way into your forward fold. And you might like to bring your block or your blanket underneath the left hip so that your hips stay facing in the center. Forearms can come to the floor as you rest your forehead on block. And as you hold here, perhaps draw your attention to the different aspects of the second chakra that are starting to resonate with you. Is it the six-petaled lotus? Is it the orange mist surrounding the area below your navel? Is it the sound of bam, bam, bam? Say it to yourself if that's something that resonates. Thinking of taste. Is there something special you'll be eating today? Maybe grab yourself a piece of dark chocolate and let it just melt in your mouth today. And notice the sensations. Is it feeling? How are you physically feeling? Is it water? Is it the moon? So the moon is is one of the symbols also, and the moon happens to be associated with resting and repose. It's the feminine, the nurturing side. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Think about the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. And then find your way back into downward facing dog. If you're in a lying down variation of pigeon, you can stay there. We're going to be joining you in a moment. But if you did this elongated variation, come into down dog just to give yourself a moment to stretch that out. And then we'll all come forward into plank unless you're already lying down on the floor. And then we're going to join those who are on the floor in that lying down position. Grab one of your blocks and place the block underneath your sacrum. So you're going to set up into a bridge, slide that yoga block underneath that spot that's just above where your buttocks begins, that flat bone that's called the sacrum. We're going to be doing some movement here. So make sure that the block feels like it's in just the right spot. Then we're going to inhale and lift off the block into a bridge. Then we exhale, bring the hips back down. Inhale, bring the knees in towards the chest, lifting the feet off the floor. Exhale, bring the feet back down to the floor. Inhale, lift the hips up off of the block. Exhale, bring the hips back down. Inhale, bring the knees up off the floor. Exhale, bring the feet back down and continue. So inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, knees in. Exhale, feet down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, feet down. And let's do two more. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, feet down. And last one. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, feet down. Pause for a moment. Notice where your body is. Notice where your hands are. Lift up into bridge and slide the block out from underneath you, moving it to the side. Touch your knees together and separate your feet wide. Hold there, breathe there. Invite your hands anywhere that feels like just where you want them to be. It could be below the navel, it could be on your belly, it could be away from your body. Start to let your knees fall to the left side as you turn your chin to the right. Then switch, bringing the knees to the right as you take your head to the left. Slowly moving and enjoying that sensation. Once again, kind of like a wavy sensation. It's almost like your legs are waves, right? So notice that, enjoy it. And once again, if you are someone who's not comfortable with water, perhaps find a different thought to this. Right? The physical sensation of opening those knees out and over. Good. Then as we come back into the center, bring your feet together. Grab your two blocks. And if you don't have blocks, maybe you have two pillows that you can use. We're going to bring the feet together with the knees apart. And I want you to slide the blocks or pillows or two blankets or towels underneath the legs. Notice the sacrum right now. So that sacrum, that flat bone that we were feeling when we were doing those bridges, right, is now maybe feeling a little different. It may generally feel still pretty flat, but it also might feel like sort of scrunching up a bit on the sides. If this feels comfortable for you and you'd like to stay here, you might also like to slide a folded blanket or towel over the hips here, if that feels nice for you. Or if it's chilly in your environment, perhaps put on something to cover you up. However, if you find that you start to get uncomfortable in that sacrum, lower back area, then come back to bringing your knees together and separate your feet. And then take that blanket or towel and place that over the legs to help you keep the knees in that position. Either one is fine. Then release your hands anywhere that feels comfortable. We'll do our squared breathing practice from this space. So start with first a nice easy breath in to clear. And exhale. And we'll breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And release. Take a little time now to either continue that counting practice on your own or just let your breath come back to its natural state. And I will chant the sound of Bum for you again. Please feel free to join. Slide one of your hands just below your navel and place the other hand over your heart. Easy breath in. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Start to make small movements, wiggling fingers and toes. Start to hug your knees into your chest and move your blocks out of the way. And take a moment to rock gently, just from side to side on that flatter sacral bone there. And then roll yourself gently to your left side. So once again, the left side is considered the moon side, the rest and digest side, nurturing side. Remember that one of the attributes of this chakra is taste. Take a moment here on your side to appreciate the effort that you put into your practice and feel the benefits of the practice in your body. Please feel free to continue lying down, coming back to a lying down position, or find your way back to a seated position, whichever you prefer. take this last moment to be very grateful to yourself for showing up for your practice this morning. And take one hand into a fist and cover it with the other hand just below your navel. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Finish practice with the sound of Om, chanting once. Bow forward from the hip as you press that hand into your body. Namaste, everyone.